Hello everyone, welcome to my channel AQ Digi Space. Now that we have learned about the nested if statements and the if statements, it's better to know when switch statements are preferable. The syntax of the switch in C statement is it is followed by a keyword followed by a condition, and whichever condition is true it will execute that statement and break will help it come out of the switch statement. Whereas this is the syntax of the pseudocode for the switch statement. Now why do we need switch statements? Is that we use switch statement in places where we have many options to avoid the clogging of the statements, and plus only in places where we just need to use the is equals to relational operator to compare the two values. For example, consider this program where when as you enter the number of the day, the name of that day will appear. So you are actually not testing it for any condition, but you are just making sure if that number is equal to the name that is assigned to it. In such a condition, we use if statement. So we start off with the start, read day num, switch day num. So if the user entered 1, it will write down write Monday. If the user entered 2 in day num, it will write down Tuesday. Likewise 3 Wednesday, 4 Thursday, 5 Friday, and 6 Saturday, 7 Sunday. But if none of these are true, then it will obviously say that the operator is not correct or your number is not correct, because there are only 7 days in a week, not more than that, and you then exit the program. We will take a variable by the name by the data type int by the name of day num, prompt the user to enter the day, the number of the day, enter the number of the day, facilitate him to enter by using scanf %d, comma, and day num. So the user have now entered, it is now stored in day num. So this is where you apply the switch case. You use the keyword switch, and inside the switch you give the variable day num. So every time this is the statement which will decide, because the switch will every time look at the value here. Whatever the value is saved here, it will see which condition is it equivalent to. So for the first case is if number 1 is entered. So we will write it as case 1. That is, this is the case when day num has when the variable day num has the number 1. We will slightly indent it to make it readable enough, and within the printf we are going to write Monday, because that means if the first day is of the week is Monday, and it will then come out of this case by executing the break. Now moving back, if the user entered 2, that is case 2, slight indent, we are going to write printf Tuesday, break to come out of it. If the user entered 3, slight indent, printf Wednesday, break. Okay, the indentation here is slightly out, so we can actually copy paste it once again. We can even copy paste it, not to waste time. So after case 3 we have case 4, 4 by the name of Thursday, 5 by the name of Friday. 6 by the name of Saturday, and then final 7 by the name of Sunday. And if none of these is true, then it will automatically go to the default case. So for that, we don't need to write the word case, but only default. Slightly indent and write down within printf, write down wrong number entered. And this is it. This is the default, but one thing that I missed out was whenever you start off with the cases in the switch, always use these parentheses, which will tell the compiler where the switch statements are finally ending up. So these are the different compilers. So here you see we are going to execute it now. On execution, it's asking me the number. I entered 5 and it gave me 5 is for Friday, which is as we coded it likewise. So my point being here is this, that why are we using switch statements in this condition? Because there are too many cases and because it makes it readable enough and we cannot miss out on any case. So it is easier to use in such options. And plus another option is that here we just need to make sure if day num is equals to 1, day num is equals to 2, day num is equals to 3. If we had to execute something in which we had to compare it to less than equal to a number, then in that case we wouldn't have to use switch. We would then have to use if else statements, because switch statements can only be used for comparing in case of equals to only. But if it is the comparison between greater than, equal to, or a comparison from one condition to another, then it is always advisable to use if else statement, nested if else statement. Why we use switch statements are that it is used in conditions where we have a controlling variable. That is, on the basis of a single variable, we have to decide different conditions. Let's discuss it in an example. So our next example is to calculate the arithmetic operations in using switch statements. As you can see that when we start off with the algorithm, we start off with start and we read the operator that we need to use and then read the numbers. On the basis of the operator that the user is entering, we are going to apply the switch statement. So since the operator is the controlling variable on which the switch is going to decide what to perform. So in such cases, it is always advisable to use switch statements. Likewise, we use different cases. In case plus is entered, we do the addition and give the output. In case minus is entered, minus, multiplication, division. And in case none of these is entered, then obviously it will generate an error and finally exit the program. To create a calculator, we need 3 variables, or we can need 4 variables as well. So let's start off with the variable integer num1, num2, which would be taken as the input, and then another one, a third one for the answer, which will calculate the answer and store the answer. If we might do the direct the calculation in the printf statement as well if you want to do that. But for those who are still confused in the use of the variables, I would rather go step by step. Then I'll use another variable by the name of OP, and it would be of the data type char character, because that would take the plus minus signs, and whenever symbols are involved, we usually use a character for that. Okay. First, we will prompt the user to enter the operation to be performed. So enter the operation to be performed, semicolon. Ask the user to enter the operation code, And since we have used a data type character, so we are going to use %c here, then and op, terminated by the semicolon. Next, we will ask the user to enter the two numbers on which the operation is to be performed, or the operands. Enter the two numbers, terminated by semicolon. Take the input from the user. Since the integer data type is used here, so we will be using %d separated by a comma, and num1 and num2. We will exit it by the semicolon again. Now is the time for the switch statement. So we are going to use the switch statement, and the controlling variable here is the operation code. So after this, we are going to include the open and closing parentheses, and in case the user enters the plus sign. Okay, it is always advisable to prompt the user, like where we will prompt here what to enter so that it's easier. Enter plus for adding, minus for subtracting. This is the prompt that we use. Star for multiplying, and backslash for dividing. This will help the user to know what the compiler is actually expecting it from it. Okay, so coming back to our case statements, in the first case we are going to do the addition, so it would be num1 plus num2. Using the printf statement, we are going to write the answer, sorry, the answer is %d, and answer, sorry, and then the break statement to come out of this case. So I'm going to copy paste the case statements to save some time. The next case, the next case, and the next case. Okay, so in the second case we are going to use the subtraction sign, minus it, and then the answer. In the third case, multiplication sign, here again a multiplication. In the fourth case, backslash sign, and we are going to divide it like this. Okay, and then the default case, in which we are going to write wrong operation code entered. Okay, let's run the program and see if it's working fine. Okay, so it's telling me that by mistake I have added two inverted commas in the prompt statement. Yes, I did. So I'm going to remove one of the inverted commas here. Unfortunately, both of them are deleted. Okay, so this is fine. Now let's run it again. Okay, so this time it's running, and it's asking, it's first giving me the prompt, and then it's asking enter the operation to be performed. I told it that I would be performing plus. It's asking me enter the two numbers. I'll enter the two numbers separated by a comma, and then the answer is 5, which is correct. But one thing here is that the prompt and the operation are being used in the same line. So to do this, we usually do \n here. Here in the prompt, I'll be writing \n, so that the next time whatever is being printed, it will come on the next line. This is it. I hope you understood it correctly, and now you know when to use the switch case, how to use the switch case, and why is it used. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video and share it with others, and look forward to the coming videos for the iteration structures or for the iteration statements. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.